Hey guys, Matt here. This is my review of Karate Kid Legends. This movie is directed by Jonathan Entwistle, and the movie stars Ben Wong, Jackie Chan, and Sadie Stanley. Now, the plot of this movie is Ben Wong plays Li Fong, who is a student of Mr. Han, played by Jackie Chan. And when he relocates from China to New York, Li Fong has to adjust to this new city, this new lifestyle, and there he meets a potential love interest, but also a potential enemy. So he must use the teachings of Mr. Han and now Daniel LaRusso to not only overcome his fears, win the girl he likes, and win the tournament known as the Five Boroughs. Now, when I first saw the trailer to this movie, I thought it was a neat concept. You took Mr. Han from the 2010 Karate Kid remake and Daniel LaRusso, Ralph Macchio from the classic Karate Kid movies, as well as Cobra Kai, and you're bringing them together to teach a clashing or a sharing of styles to a new young student. I thought this was going to be really neat. And I saw the movie, and I enjoyed it, but there were some things that didn't show in the trailer, and some added plot lines, and a little bit of this, and a lot more of something else, which I'll get into. Now, let me start with the acting in this movie. Ben Wong, as our main character of Lee, he was nice. He was charming. He was innocent, but also, he stood strong when he had to. He faced adversity, even though he may not have wanted to when he was forced to. And I liked his character. There was an emotional backstory that kind of gave us some insight as to who he is and his upbringing. So I like that character. The love interest of Sadie Stanley, she was a nice treat. She was entertaining and believable, and they had good chemistry together. The bully in this movie, typical kid that thinks he's a tough guy, just likes to hurt people but still wants to have the girl. This movie has your very typical trope, much like the Karate Kid movies or something like Tokyo Drift, where you have an outsider come to town, he meets a girl and then has to deal with either the bully or her boyfriend, or sometimes both, and then he overcomes adversity and he wins, type of thing. And that's what we get here. And then Jackie Chan as Sifu Han, he was fine. It's always nice to see Jackie Chan, and I just can't believe he's getting older. I remember there was a time where I thought he was ageless. I used to watch his old super cop movies and Rush Hour, and now he's finally looking aged. So it's a hard pill to swallow. But Jackie Chan's getting older. He can still go, but not like he used to. And then you have Ming Na Wen as Li Fong's mother. She was okay. Her character was really just like, I don't like fighting. You know what happened to your brother. Just the real protective mom. And to me, there really wasn't much there with that character. And then you have Ralph Macchio returning as Daniel LaRusso, which was a nice treat to see. I just feel like because Cobra Kai just ended and it was so recent that this cameo would have played off better if we didn't get Cobra Kai. But because we just saw Daniel LaRusso and we know what he's been up to, seeing him in this movie for as little as we did, it was nice to see, but I just wanted more because this was seemingly more a Li Fong, Mr. Han type movie with Daniel LaRusso making a cameo. Also, this movie co-stars Joshua Jackson, who I first saw in The Mighty Ducks as Charlie Conway. Real young kid. Now, seeing him like in his 50s is a little weird. But there's a subplot where Joshua Jackson is a pizza restaurant owner. And he owes some money to some people, and he used to be a boxer, and he's trying to get back into that. And so, Li Fong trains him to get back into boxing. And so the movie takes this weird subplot of before Li Fong himself gets trained, he becomes the trainer. He trains this older man in this new kung fu type style. And it was different because none of this was shown or hinted at in the trailer. All we really got was this storyline of Li Fong coming to America, getting into some trouble, and then wanting to train to win this tournament. But the movie really doesn't get to that until much later in the film. And then when it finally does address the tournament known as the Five Boroughs, that's much later in the movie. And when they finally bring in Daniel LaRusso, that, as well as the training montage, even the tournament itself, is just very quick, very sped up. Now, aside from the chemistry of Lee and his love interest, I thought this movie was really just paint by numbers. And like I said, if Daniel LaRusso wasn't just in the Cobra Kai TV show, I feel like his presence would have been more meaningful. So because this movie was paint by numbers, and it's a sequel that really didn't need, it was a nice throwback to the 2010 Karate Kid, making that character and these events canon, but it just wasn't as surprising, and it just wasn't as entertaining as I wanted it to be. This movie does have a mid-credit scene, and it's by far the best part of the movie. It's something that you probably thought they might do with a movie like this, and then when they did it, I was like, oh, that was really cool. That was a nice touch. So yeah, the mid-credit scene was the best part. The opening scene where it uses footage from Karate Kid 2 was also nice, but everything in between, it's a Karate Kid movie you've seen before. It's nothing special, but it's still enjoyable. So because of that, I'm going to give Karate Kid Legends a C. Till next time, guys. See ya.